make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. Happy Memorial Day weekend. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have 3 locations in Nebraska. The original, 27th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln, in Omaha, 168th and Burke, also in Papillion, 72nd and Highway 370. Now, this morning is a weekend where if you listen to the radio a lot, especially national radio, like the big hosts, like Hannity, you took a sudden vacation, kind of like Bill O'Reilly did, and we'll see if he comes back from vacation, kind of like Bill O'Reilly didn't. But yeah, most guys are phoning it in this weekend, right? Not me. We are live and local right here with you this morning. So if you're live and local as well, that's great. Even if you're live and not so local because you're listening online at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. By the way, professional audio, unofficial audio tech, Winston, if you could give me a level check, please. Make sure that everything is sounding good for all the people in the world. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to log in there myself right now, and it's kind of weird to watch yourself on Facebook in like an 8-second time delay. And, if something is like, you have a booger hanging out of your nose or something, and you're like, oh, good God. And, you try to fix it, but there's an 8-second time delay, so you're like staring at it forever. Not that that's happened or anything. But yeah, so you can watch the show actually live, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. You can also call into the program, 402-558-1110, or if you're not local, 800-543-1110. Volume is low. All right, so we're going to change the volume just a little bit. I got to be a little careful. I don't want to blow you guys out with this. So there we go. I turned up the volume just a hair, which on this dial means it's going to be like a lot louder now. So let me know if sounding good on the iPhone. Volume low. Well, you got to turn up the volume on your phone too. All right, let me know if it's too loud now. All right, so I'm coming in this morning and I walk in the door and I grab the producer of the show and I say, have you ever started a radio show where you have absolutely no idea what you're going to talk about? Because there is nothing going on. There is no cyber attacks. There's no viruses. There's no big sale. We don't do the whole Memorial Day sale thing. Our experience from we're closed on Memorial Day, so we're open today. If you have something in the service center you want to pick up, today's the day to come get it. But let me tell you, it is just we get like everybody leaves. So the service centers, if this is a great time, if you want to bring a computer in, now we are closed tomorrow. On Monday, we're closed. But if you want to bring your computer in today for one of those prepaid maintenance certificates, maybe you have family coming into town, it's a great way to get the computer out of the house so nobody jacks it up. But, you drop it off in the service center, and, the benches are open right now. Memorial Day weekend, everything kind of clears out, and it's like the official start of our slow season. Yeah, because computer repair, weirdly, is seasonal. Now, maybe it's not seasonal. This is one of the things that I've always wanted to find out, because every computer repair company that I've ever run or taken over, or, like when we ran ARN for a while, it became seasonal very quick, because once you know what to do with a computer, it's the same stuff every time. So preventative maintenance, for example, if you do preventative maintenance, the failures in your computers, they get fewer and further between. And so basically then you're compressing your failures into high usage times. So, for example, when it is, -20 outside, people tend to stay inside and find something to do on the computer. When it is 120 outside, people tend to stay inside and find something to do with the computer. But when it's like 80 degrees and sunny on a Memorial Day weekend and you've got burgers and dogs and stuff to cook, people typically don't stay inside and mess up their computers. So, if you're not on it, you can't break it, or you don't notice it's broken. Now, one of the things with preventative maintenance, case in point, there is one thing going on this morning that I was looking at, because you never know with everything that's going on. Cyber attack. It wasn't a cyber attack that knocked British Airways computer systems offline. If you're flying British Airways, sorry about that. That's terrible. But my goodness, delays that reverberate, it was a cascading computer failure. Now, when you tell me you have a cascading computer failure, what that tells me, what I hear, well, let's play the communication game. Who has a communications degree out there? Communication is passing of knowledge and information from one person to another person. And it takes two people to have a successful communication. And if either one of those people isn't receiving or sending the proper message, they don't have a successful communication. So when you tell me that there's a cascading computer failure, what that says to me is one computer failed that kicked the whole thing off, which caused a second computer to fail, which caused a third computer, and then a fifth, and a 10th, and a 50th, and a 100th, and it cascades. It's rolling failure. If you tell me there's a cascading blackout coming my way, that means the power is going out, and it started at one point, and it's like a wave going through the system. That's not what happened. It's not a cascading failure. I hate to tell the news that they're not right, but they had a power supply that died. That's right. At least a dozen of you had this happen in my service centers this week. You hit the power button, and the lights came on, and the fans started spinning, but nobody was home. It's like a bad 80s song. No one's there. It doesn't turn on. There's nothing comes up on the screen. And the biggest concern everybody has is my data gone from the hard drive? Is it all done? Is it all gone? Is it all bye-bye? Oh, no, what am I going to do? No worries. It's all there. Your power supply is bad. We take out the power supply box. We put in a new power supply box. We hook up all the cables. We do a burn-in test. That's where we let it run for a while, doing something strenuous to make sure that if it's going to fail, it fails on our bench. 10% of new hardware just fails out of the box. We want to make sure it fails out of the box on our bench if it's going to do that. So you don't take it home, get in the middle of a wicked game of solitaire. And just as you're about to triumphantly defeat the computer, you have a cascading solitaire failure where one card falls and then the whole deck goes down. We don't want to have that happen. So British Airways had a power supply fail in a computer. So the cascading part, what I'm guessing there is a really important computer went offline. Probably a computer that should have had more than one power supply. Servers have two power supplies and a backup battery usually hooked up to them so that they don't go down. That's the whole point. And if one power supply goes, you could pull out the one power supply that's bad, the other one takes over, and you slide in a new one. So there's only two reasons why someone like British Airways has a cascading power supply failure. The IT guy probably got fired because he probably had a power supply that died, and he didn't immediately replace it. It's Memorial Day. Well, do they have? They don't have Memorial Day weekend overseas, do they? So yeah, I mean, why would wait a minute? Why is British Airways busy for Memorial Day? What? Do we have that many people that fly back to Britain for Memorial Day? What are they memorializing? Wait a minute, No, but basically it shouldn't have happened. And so then what happened is when a main scheduling server goes down, all the terminals in the airports are not able to access the database that has the flight information, so they don't know who's supposed to be on the planes. And then if they don't know who's supposed to be on the planes don't know, and maybe the planes don't know what gates to go to, and all of a sudden this cascading failure is more like a system failure. Not a computer system failure, but a system design failure. Everything that we do is built on systems, and some of those systems are computer systems, and some of those systems are just organizational systems, like the card catalog at the library that nobody has anymore. My son is doing the Reading Merit Badge, and he had to go use the card catalog in the library. And I'm like, seriously? The card catalog? Why don't we just get him his cyber chip with his dial-up modem, too? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, he went and used the digital card catalog at the library, which is you type in the name of the book you want, and it tells you where it's at. It's pretty sweet. All right. So anyway, that's what's happening with British Airways. It's not – it's a big deal if you're waiting in an airport right now. But, they pretty quickly were able to figure out it wasn't a cyber attack because of all the things the Russians are capable of. I don't think they can cause your computer's power supply to blow up yet. There was once a virus that tried to drill a hole in your hard drive, though. No joke, yeah. It would move the little arms back and forth over the same spot, even though it's like I think I should check this on Snopes because this could be an urban legend because the heads aren't supposed to touch the platter. So going back and forth over the same spot wouldn't actually drill a hole through your hard drive, but it's a really good story. All right, well, happy Memorial Day. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. All right. Facebook. Ron writes, thought you might like to know I use my Amazon Echo to listen to your Saturday show on KFOR. Oh, okay. Well, I had no idea that Amazon Echo could do that. I have an Echo at home. I'll have to play around with that. Thanks for the heads up there. Bank holiday. Yes, Robert, Monday is a bank holiday. And because we have bankers' hours, I got accused of having bankers' hours the other week. A customer came in, oh, you guys are your bankers' hours. He wanted us to be open earlier than 10 o'clock. He doesn't understand that I employ millennials. And the other day, here I am. I'm up at 5:45 to get here for the show on time and being ready to go. And, you don't text my employees at 5:45. It's just something. Now, the kids don't understand that. They'll text me in the middle of the night. I'm like, what? I had to put a do not disturb on my phone so no texts come through in the middle of the night because they have no concept of that courtesy. That's like an old person thing, apparently. Those old 40-year-olds. They're supposed to. That after 40, if the 39-year-olds don't know to do that. So I don't text at 5:45 to people who I know are asleep. At 7:45, I'm on the air still. I don't text them. At 9 o'clock. It's Sunday. At 9 o'clock, I don't text them. By 10 o'clock, I feel I'm in the safe texting zone, okay? Even for a millennial. I would be incorrect. Actually, it's after 12 noon is the safe text zone for kids. So that's a little PSA for you this morning. If you're going to text Happy Memorial Day to people, if you want to wake them up, text them before noon. If not, you can send it after 12 noon. All right, let's see. Gosh, it's a bank holiday, so there's British Airways traffic. Got it. A British bank holiday. All right. Good morning from Las Vegas. Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you doing today? So you guys can follow along on Facebook, facebook.com/Rock Innovations. You can post comments there. As we go through the show today, I'm going to try to interact with those comments while at the same time providing a wonderfully entertaining radio show for people who are not on Facebook. And that's one of the things Dale has called in because Dale needs advice about his dongle. Dale, how can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, I told your call screener maybe I should change my name to Jane, but
Jane needs help with her dongle?
Yeah, well,
oh goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's an embarrassing. Oh,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
Well, and I was going under the assumption that maybe it was a computer question because if it's not, there's different shows for that.
Yeah.
What can I do for you, Dale?
Well, I heard you say this before. I have a laptop that the Wi-Fi died in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure in some way, shape, or form it's connected with Donald Trump and the Russians. But besides that...
the Russians killed your dongle.
Yep. I'm sure that would fit the current news narrative anyway. But anyway, I heard you say that one of the workarounds was to get a Wi-Fi dongle and put in the USB port. So
mm-hmm.
I was wondering what I kind of need to watch out for. My Wi-Fi is capable of running the 802.11, either B, G, or N.
Okay.
And it runs the WPA2 PSK security.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and I noticed when I was kind of looking online, there was some that only ran like N to that version, and there's some that'll run multiple modes, the B, G, and N, plus that new AC, and kind of like different frequencies. And so I was kind of wondering what's the best, kind of pick your brain on it just a little bit.
Oh, no sweat.
Maybe what to look out for.
You were throwing out all kinds of acronyms and letters there, and I'm pretty sure some people in the audience at that point were kind of glazing over. So I'm gonna break it down Barney style.
Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do. How old is the laptop?
Oh gosh.
Like more than 5 years? Is it Vista?
Yeah. It's running Vista, so that probably gives you an idea.
Gotcha. Okay. So the good news is because it wasn't like a Windows 98 laptop. Though not that there'd be Wi-Fi in that, but I'm just saying. If it was XP maybe, but that laptop, if you turn it over, there should be a great big door on the bottom. What's the brand? HP?
Toshiba.
Toshiba? Okay. There's going to be a door, a square door that maybe has a memory symbol on it. It's a little Phillips head screw. You take that out, you pop it off. Memory chips for laptops are about, yay big, like 2.5 inches long. And Wi-Fi dongles or Wi-Fi chipsets, actually. This isn't really a dongle, it's a chipset. The Wi-Fi chipset is going to be about 1 inch wide. It's a little square, like a postage stamp size thing.
Okay.
And it is removable. So you can literally open up that door, take out the Wi-Fi chipset, and on the Wi-Fi chipset there will be a model number. And if you pop onto eBay, you could type in that exact model number and order a replacement Wi-Fi chipset, and you could probably get that for less than $10. It's going to be less than the cost of a dongle for sure, because the USB dongles are going to run you anywhere from $30 for a cheap one all the way up to $80 for a good one.
Actually, on eBay, they were as low as like like $7, and then up.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them are used too. So I mean, it just depends.
No, these were new, but that's why I was kind of calling to see what I should watch out for. But that's a good suggestion. But,
yeah, that way you don't have this giant USB thing hanging off the side of your laptop. So,
which leads me into another question concerning Wi-Fi that I've never been able to do, but with this laptop. Is there a way with a dongle and a working Wi-Fi in a laptop that you can run multiple Wi-Fi connections, like one to the internet, and then I have a device that's a data logger that uses a Wi-Fi connection. Would there be a way that I could, run both at the same time, both the internet connection and the Wi-Fi connection to that with another, some kind of another
Gotcha.
Wi-Fi device?
So basically what you can do is you can create local networks using your network adapters. So for example, your laptop has two network adapters. It has one for wired connections and then the wireless one. And so if you have two Wi-Fi dongles, you would have two network adapters, and you can tell those network adapters to do different things. But the limitation is you can't tie them together. So you couldn't try to hook them both up to the router to get faster internet speed, for example. But what you could do is you could set up a local network between a point-to-point network, an ad hoc network between the laptop and then the logging device so that they could communicate. And then the other Wi-Fi adapter or a wired connection or whatever could have the connection to the internet and be managing that. So you can set up multiple networks for different zones that could do things. But then, of course, you have to get everything on the computer and then tell it to go over the internet and everything. It's complicated, but it can be done.
And then in order to do that, though, you need another Wi-Fi, like a dongle or something.
You would need two network adapters, and regardless of whether they're wireless or if it was a wire going into the side of the laptop. You would just need to be using two different networking adapters.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a question I had. Now, on a desktop or a tower computer, you could add another Wi-Fi card into it, too. That would be an option.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could put another Wi-Fi card in. It depends. If you're right next to, this is the thing. A lot of people get hung up on this Wi-Fi thing. Thank you very much for the call, Dale. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we got you in the drawing as well for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate that we'll draw for here at the end of the program. But people get hung up on the Wi-Fi thing. So I see a lot of people with desktops like, oh, gosh, it doesn't have Wi-Fi. What am I going to do? And they're 2 feet from their wireless router or from their modem. Just run a cable. Honestly, it's more stable. It's faster for now, unless you buy a really expensive router, and then you're still limited to the speed of the modem anyway. But just run a cable. It's wireless. Wireless is great when you're far away, but in almost all conditions, wireless is slower and there's more latency. We talked about last week latency. That was the key word today. Today's show brought to you by the word latency. Latency is the delay in communications. When your computer sends something, it takes a little bit of time for the wireless router to respond back. In human time, not a big deal. In Call of Duty time, that's how you get shot, okay? That's how you lose. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. We're going to take a quick break here on the program, folks. When we come back, we've got Blaine, your call coming up. Also, Elliot's got a question on Facebook about WebRoot and Kaspersky, so we're going to get to all that coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations is Nebraska's award-winning service leader. When you have a problem with your computer, call Schrock at 934-9423 and mention the free hour of labor for new customers coupon to try Omaha's best computer repair service for free.
In 1798, Eli Whitney's Connecticut Musket Factory was the first business in North America to use replaceable parts in a fire.
Power, because apparently the cord came out of my power supply. I've had a cascading power supply failure. Be right back. Wow. This is interesting. I don't have a cascading Oh, oh, that's a KFAB fail right there. Ooh, we had a power outlet failure. That's kind of scary, isn't it? Like, you plug it in and nothing comes on to charge. So we got it switched to an outlet that works now. So welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate you watching on Facebook. We're going to literally, there's nothing going on today. So calls, questions, today is the day to do it because there is no news whatsoever. I mean, there's stuff going on. Like let's see, this is the kind of stuff that, that I filter out. The blockchain could upend the world's most powerful companies. Yeah, okay. Diabetics are hacking their health because traditional health systems have failed them, which you don't learn anything from that story. Making the sense of Microsoft Surface lineup, that's exciting. How to develop and practice lifelong learning. The Intel Core i9, who will pay for 12 cores on their desktop? This is the kind of garbage that you get on a weekend. It's bad. Let me see if what are the worst ones? Let's see. Brazil slips in global open data ranking. That's important. Horrible movie bosses ranked. That one I'm going to click on. Okay, you got me. Clickbait. Apple will live stream the WWDC 2017 keynote. Don't they live stream all their keynotes? Okay, the MacBook, the good and the bad of Mac's Ultrabook, which is basically a MacBook Air reinvented. Yeah, I mean, does artificial intelligence make sense? It does if it works. I mean, if it doesn't make sense, it's not working too well now, is it? I mean, this is the kind of garbage that I have to filter through for you. But anyway, so we're going back on. Stick with us, guys. We'll be back here after the show for Aftershock as well.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. You can join us live online at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. During the commercial breaks, we keep going live on Facebook. And then, of course, after the program, stay tuned. If you have questions, things like that, or stuff that doesn't fit on the air really well, or maybe it's nothing that you want to get covered on the air, you can stick around for Aftershock, where we kind of just hang out for 10 or 15 minutes after the show is over and deal with whatever you want to do. All right, so jumping in there, Elliot on Facebook asked, he recently removed WebRoot and installed Kaspersky. Any thoughts? Excellent. That's great. Getting rid of WebRoot is a step in the right direction. It's like ridding your body of cancer. WebRoot blows. In my opinion, WebRoot blows. WebRoot allegedly blows. There, now I can't be sued. But no, we don't like WebRoot. Kaspersky and Semantic Endpoint trade back and forth for number 1, number 2 spot. It was hilarious. We had a customer in the service center, I think it was like a week ago, and she was just railing. Like, she gets on the phone, she was just, she was chatting. We get some chatty customers sometimes, and I have to coach my employees sometimes. It's like, it's okay to chat with a customer for a couple minutes, but if you're in like a half-hour conversation about life, you need to move on. You need to use conversation ending techniques to pleasantly let the person know it's time to end the conversation. Well, so this woman was talking to one of my technicians, and she hates Russia. She hates the leaks. She hates everything. Oh my gosh, these Russians are hacking everything, and who do they think they are, and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, and she's convinced that they're hacking her computer, and that she was so proud of the fact that she finally got everything secured, and now she knows that she's safe because she has Kaspersky antivirus. My technician's jaw, because he knows Kaspersky's okay. Kaspersky's good antivirus, okay? If you were going to buy something off the shelf that was not managed, but like, for example, endpoint software is managed by Schrock. So in other words, if something crazy starts happening, we can step in and create rules that protect all of our customers on the fly. Kaspersky, you can't do that. Kaspersky, you get whatever the Russian antivirus company says you get, which is usually pretty good. Consumer Reports ranks and the Norton products and Kaspersky like number 1, number 2. They flip back and forth. So just depends on how you test it in the day of the week. So, alrighty. No, somebody just contacted me on Facebook Messenger and asked, is this the place to contact you during the show? It's really hard for me to read and talk and think at the same time. So, and I don't have someone reading my messages for me to queue them up like I do for calls. The best way to reach me during the show is to actually call the program, but I will try to get messages open in another tab just in case, because if I don't respond to this message quickly, Facebook gives me a black mark. So I don't know. No, that's so weird. Okay, anyway. So basically, Kaspersky is fine, but this lady, when my technician told her Kaspersky is made by a Russian company, she wigged. She absolutely wigged, and it was like, oh my goodness, no, it's okay, it's okay. If you want to switch it, and she was wigging out, and she says, well, what do you recommend? And he says, Endpoint. Well, who makes that? He goes, it's made in America. And I'm switching to Endpoint. She literally just installed Kaspersky, and then she switched to Endpoint like the next week. So it was kind of funny. But no, Kaspersky's fine. It's going to keep your computer safe. Of course, I'd love to have you on Endpoint as a Schrock customer. If Kaspersky is the right fit for you, though, one of the things is Endpoint is because we manage it, we charge per computer. So if you have like 5 computers at home, sometimes you can get like a 5-pack of licenses for Kaspersky, for example. And it's a budget thing. If you don't want that local professional management, then, don't buy it. So you can get Kaspersky instead. So no, good job there. Cy writes, he just began using LastPass, a password manager. First time sending my password management to the web. Any tips, comments, or what to look out for? This is a great question because I too have recently, I don't like password managers because it gives like a super, super target rich, ripe target. I mean, if you get in there, you get everybody's password, all their passwords to everything. But one of the features so I don't use a password management service because I use a different service that is a little more useful for my personal stuff. So I use Firefox on my desktop. I use Firefox on my laptop. On my phone, I have the Firefox app installed because I prefer that over the Google Chrome modified browser that Google snoops on. So on all my devices, I'm using Firefox. And you can actually, if you go up to the little settings thing in the top right corner, you can create an account. And then all of your bookmarks and all of your saved passwords are universally saved across all of your devices instantly. So in other words, if I've saved a password on my desktop and I want to log into it, like we have a credit card terminal in the Papillion Service Center, and the stupid thing stopped working. And there's an open batch in it. We're trying to get the batch to settle, and we can't get the batch to settle. Meanwhile, we can't get the card machine to work, so we can't take credit cards. So we're calling them over to Omaha over the phone because you can't email them because that's not safe. So we're calling them into Omaha and having them hand key it in the Omaha terminal so we can get customers out the door in the meantime. So we're going to have to call them. And, of course, it happens on a holiday weekend. So I get an email on my phone saying, log into your payment portal to check this open batch. Oh, okay. If I tap login on my phone and I don't have my Firefox password saved, I don't know what that password is. And then when I do, and of course, once I got in, it said, oh, you haven't changed your password in 90 days, change your password. And the first 2 didn't qualify or were already been used in the past or whatever. And so when I changed it, I hit save password. And then from my phone is going to save it back across my desktop and laptop. So I don't ever have to oh gosh, what was the password? What device did I save that on? Oh my goodness. I can just get rid of all of them. So it's pretty handy stuff. So I use Firefox to do that. The only thing is with any password management utility, including this, Firefox account, it's really, really important when you get rid of a device to make sure that it's wiped. Really important, because if somebody gets their hands on one of these devices with a functioning link like that going on, you could change passwords all day long, and the bad guys are going to instantly get your passwords. So you want to make sure you change those. So that's the only advice I have for you, Si. All right, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Blaine, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi.
Hi, Blaine.
I just came in from out of town yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And I had one of those gift certificates from calling in earlier.
Okay.
And the only way you can claim that is if it's a hard copy, you got to bring it into the store. So I'm 5.5 hours away, but I was in town yesterday, so I brought it in and I added the secure updater and the endpoint.
Okay.
When I got home about midnight, I opened it up, and he was going to remove the existing spyware, or not the spyware, the malware that was on there. But I see Malwarebytes is still in the desktop anyways. I should remove that, shouldn't I?
Well, Malwarebytes is a program designed to detect malware. So, it doesn't hurt it to have it on there. In fact, I have it installed on my computers because I like to have a second opinion sometimes, because nobody's perfect. No company's perfect. Not even Symantec, the makers of Endpoint, are perfect. Not even the Russians who make Kaspersky are perfect. So sometimes, and when I say perfect, what I mean is we might have detections that are a matter of hours apart. So I keep Malwarebytes around. What do I do if something comes in and blasts my endpoint somehow? I need something else on the computer to scan with. What happens if something blasts my Malwarebytes? That's weird. So I'm going to really need something to scan with then, so I'll use my endpoint. So Malwarebytes isn't going to hurt it, having it down there. The guys probably left it there because it's convenient to have around. You can uninstall it. It won't hurt anything either way. Now, as far as the certificates, I want to cover this because this is important because we are changing very rapidly. The show used to be a nice local thing, and we could print out little pieces of paper and give them to customers. Yay! And, we'll mail it to you, whatever. Oh, you're in, Wisconsin. You're in Egypt. Okay, we'll mail this out to you. Next time you're in Nebraska, stop by the shop. And, now we have our online store where you can buy things. However, these certificates do not have coupon codes on them that you can use on the website. So we're aware of that problem. We're going to work on changing that. So I apologize it was inconvenient for you. If that has stopped anybody else from using one of the $25 certificates that they've won on the air, Kathy in the Lincoln Service Center has a record of everybody who's won. I send her an email after the show. She saves every email I send her. And so she can go back through the emails and look and see if you won. And she can search by your phone number. So basically, if that's the situation, make sure you get a hold of Kathy. And, we're human beings. We can make an exception and process something over the phone or something like that, or do a Schrock desk so you don't have to, drive in 5 hours to use your $25 gift certificate. But anyway, does that answer the question, Blaine?
Yes, that first one. Then I floated over the icon for the
endpoint.
The endpoint, and it popped up a block that says log in or exit.
Okay, yep, that's your secure updater. So basically what happened is your secure updater, I'm guessing this is a laptop since you're driving around with it? Okay, so if you activated your laptop in an area where you do not have any internet, secure updater would try to log in. And if it failed, it's going to say, okay, I failed. So one of the reasons it could have failed is you don't have a wrong username and password. And so when Secure Updater was developed many, 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 many years ago, people were less mobile than they are now. Everyone that's a Secure Updater subscriber will be really happy to know that we are working on a new version of the client software right now that is going to resolve a lot of these little things like what you're experiencing. So the bottom line is, Blaine, if you restart your laptop while it's connected to the internet, everything will be fine. If you leave it connected to the internet for up to 8 hours, it'll automatically check after 8 hours. So you're going to be fine. Just restart the computer and everything will snap to again. It's just that the last time you had it on, there was not an internet connection, and so it couldn't check for updates. And so it was like, I can't get to the internet. I can't check for updates. Therefore, either I don't have an internet connection or I have a wrong username and password. So, hey, log in again, and we'll figure out which one it is.
Okay.
But it's all saved, so if you restart, it'll come to.
Then I hit Mozilla to open Firefox, and I got a window asking about putting on an add-on. An add-on.
Yep, for the Norton product.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go ahead and allow that.
Okay.
Yep, that's basically what that does. That little add-on, when you go to websites, it tells the semantic software what website you're going to, and if that website has been reported as a scam website or a phishing website, not phishing like, rod and reel, but a phishing, P-H-I-S-H. They're trying to steal your password. They're trying to fish for passwords. If it's one of those websites, you'll get a message on your screen that blocks you from going to it, and you can override it by clicking go there anyway, but it's really not a good idea.
Okay, great.
All righty?
Very good.
All right, thanks for the call, Blaine. I appreciate it. All right, so the service centers are apparently slow, but the show is not. So you know what? Here's the thing. You may have noticed lately we've been taking more breaks during the show. So we've been taking breaks. We're supposed to take one at 20, and we're supposed to take one at 30, and we're supposed to take one at 40 or 44-ish, somewhere in there. And then we're trying to follow a clock because this show is actually going to go out to other radio stations at some point in the next year. And at that point, I will have to follow a strict clock. Some stations will give us an entire hour. Some stations give us the hour, but they want to play commercials. So I have to give them a hole in which to stick commercials, right? So I'm trying to train myself to follow a clock. And I'm having my wife was telling me yesterday that time for me, I'm a true space-time anomaly. Because if I say I'll be home in a minute, that means I'll be home in 3 hours. And to me, it feels like a minute. I just talked to you, and I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, that was 3 hours ago. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to do an aftershock. It'll be 5-10 minutes, 30. Last week it was 30 minutes later. We're still on there. So I was like, okay, So basically I'm trying to follow a clock. So that's why we're taking more spots. The other thing is it gives me time to go off air on Facebook and say things that I can't say on the microphone. Not like curse words and, mean stuff, but, little stuff. And then here we are today. The service centers are like bone dry. Great day to bring it in because everybody's on vacation. No one's bringing their computer in, and the phone banks are chocked full. So I'm going to take one more call, then we're going to take our 40 break. We're just going to drop the 30 break because that was so 10 minutes ago. All right, next up we got Ron. Ron, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I installed the media player VLC. I think you've mentioned it.
Yeah, good stuff.
And it plays CDs fine, but DVDs it will not play. I've tried different DVDs, new ones, old ones, whatever, and it just won't.
Are you sure you're not putting Blu-rays in?
No, they aren't Blu-rays.
That's weird because every time we take a family trip, we make sure we have VLC installed on the computer because the Windows Media Player will not natively play DVDs. So that is interesting that your VLC. I'm gonna see if something maybe has changed in VLC. We haven't taken a family vacation in like 8 months, so something could have changed since then. VLC won't play DVDs. All right, let's see. Simple steps to fix the VLC player not playing DVD problems. I'm guessing that's my problem. The DVDs won't even play in VLC. Okay, so if you're having trouble playing DVDs, is this a laptop or a desktop?
It's desktop.
Has it ever played DVD movies before?
Not since I put Windows 10 on.
Gotcha. So it was working before then, but not now?
Right.
Okay, and this is something we see a lot. What ended up happening is you probably had software. I wanted to make sure you had a DVD drive. Sometimes people have a CD burner, and they're trying to get a DVD to work in it, and that dog won't hunt. But basically, when Windows 7, Windows 8 natively would play DVDs with Windows Media Player, Microsoft has to pay. DVD is like a rights thing, and you have to pay. So every time you get a computer that has a DVD drive in it, you're paying a nickel or a dime or quarter or whatever to the DVD organization. Every time when you buy a spindle of DVDs, like a penny from each DVD goes to the DVD company, which really burns you after you burn a disc and it fails, and you're like, that's a penny. Man, they got paid even though it didn't work. So basically, Microsoft, to save money, dropped native DVD support from Windows, which saved them a whole lot of pennies. And instead, now you have to purchase software. The problem was when you upgraded to Windows 10, a lot of us had software on the computer that came with the computer, like a Cyber Player, Media Player, things like that. But that software wasn't Windows 10 compatible. And so Windows 10 removed it for you as a courtesy. And so then you go to pop your DVD in, and lo and behold, it will not play. So let's add on Windows 10. And see what changes here. All right. It's free, and after you install it, you'll be able to play DVDs and VLC, no problem. Blu-rays and other play DVD and VLC. Yeah. Okay. So you might try opening VLC will still play your DVD movie. So you might try, as opposed to putting in the disc and letting it try to autoplay, you might open the VLC media player and click on File, and then try to open the DVD from within VLC. Have you tried to do that already?
No, I have not.
All right, give that a whirl, because they're saying that's I'm reading here that's it's called Open Disk. So you click on, it's not File, it's Media in the top left corner. It's where the File menu should be. My brain had the right spot, the wrong word. And then you click Open Disk.
Open Disk. Hit File, then hit Open Disk.
Well, it's where File should be. It's Media. So click
okay.
Media. I'm just going to confuse the heck out of you.
Okay.
Click on Media and click on Open Disk.
Oh, okay.
And then VLC is far from the only media player you can use. There are tons of free third-party media players with integrated support for DVDs. So there's tons of them. But VLC is the one that I like. Secure Updater supports it, so whenever there's updates for it, you're going to get that update. So you're always having the most up-to-date software installed on your computer.
Okay, very good. I'll give that a shot.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No sweat. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Quick break. More of the show coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations web design team is staffed by professional business consultants, photographers, artists, and coders. Don't let your slow web guy.
Coming up here on the program, Facebook questions. There was a recent update to the VLC software. Yeah, there's updates to VLC all the time because Secure Updater gets them. And boy, I have to tell you, we had a glitch with, if you're having trouble with your Secure Updater, we had a glitch that we sent a patch out for because It's the weirdest thing. The guy who originally coded Secure Updater for us, the client software, it checks to see if it's connected to the internet, but it does so in some like backwater way. My guys are like, why? You could have just like, if you were going to do the cheat way, you could have just pinged Google to see if it was connected. And if you can get to Google, you're on the internet. But no, they didn't do that. They did it some weird way. And as a result, Secure Updater sometimes gets confused whether or not there's an internet connection, which can cause it to try to log in and then immediately fail and not log in. And so we put out a patch for that, so change it so it just pings Google instead. The problem is if your Secure Updater icon is black, it can't get the update. So it can't update itself, which is ironic, I know. And so basically what you need to do is get logged in. If you can't get logged in, you can uninstall Secure Updater, log into your Secure Updater account, download the software again, install it, and you'll get the patch that way. One way or the other, you'll get it taken care of. Time to get a producer. Producer. Oh, because I'm Googling on the air. Yeah, I know. See, I used to try to sound like I knew everything. And it takes a lot of effort to do, and I can usually bluff my way through it, but this is the stuff I can't say on the air. I hate it when Kim Commando does that. Like when you're listening to Kim Commando and you're pounding your radio because you're like, no, that's not right. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not right. Oh my gosh. And then the person on the other line is, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You've really saved my life, and my children will be so happy I don't have to bother them anymore. Oh, thank you. It's like, no, it's wrong. Oh my gosh, you're wrong. But there's no call-in number to call because it's a completely produced show. You ever notice how she always has calls and there's never a phone number to call? Oh, I hate that. So rather than now, I've learned it's okay to admit you don't know everything as long as you know how to get the answer, because then you're actually a relatable person as opposed to an omnipotent God. Now, omnipotent God would still be better. Damn. Boy, I screwed that up. All right, we're going back on, guys. We'll be back here in a second. Thanks for watching on Facebook.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Those are the numbers to join us on the show. Quick thing, I had a meeting this week with two ladies, just fun ladies that have a business idea, and it's brilliant. They're going to start an errand running service. And I was talking with them, and I'm like, oh, my gosh, can you imagine doing a morning blend segment where you go on TV and you say, okay, ladies watching out there, all of us have something that we have to do today. Like right now, think about this. Everybody has some stupid thing that they have to do today that they would really rather not do, okay? Like not do. And what if you could call somebody, kind of like Uber for errands? What if you could call somebody and they would run the errand for you? Yesterday, I had to go get 2 hard-boiled eggs from Hy-Vee. But I had the kids, so I had to pack up all the kids, put them in the car, go to Hy-Vee, get the kids out of the car, get out of the car seat, go into Hy-Vee. My daughter got to push the adorable little cart. Yeah, but she goes, oh my gosh, slow. So you try to guide it. Then she gets mad because you're holding her flag. And then, okay, so let's go. So you put the eggs in the cart, and she takes the eggs and throws them on the floor. And luckily they're hard-boiled eggs because, we needed them for potato salad. So they didn't break. So that was okay. But it's just, I would have spent $10 to have someone else go to Hy-Vee and get the eggs for me at that point. Okay. I had other things I wanted to do that day. I was working on a new mining rig, and I'm like, I just 2 hard-boiled eggs. So what if there was a business that you could call whenever you had a stupid little errand like that you had to do, that you could just call and they would do it for you? It's brilliant. And so they came to me. They're getting all their P's and Q's together. They're crossing the T's, dotting the I's, doing the whole bit. And they're going to need a website. And so they were talking to me about having Schrock Interactive build them a website and the hosting. And, one of the things I said is, I'd love to have you guys on the radio because I would love to have like callers call in and say, here's the stupid thing that I have to do today that I don't want to do. So here's the thing. Everybody on hold. Jim, Gary, Mary, Mark, I'm going to get to your calls here now next. I want you all to think of one stupid thing that you have to do today that you drop a 5 spot for somebody else to have to do for you, okay? And it can't be something like, painting the house or something stupid like that. On Facebook, too, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Give me the one stupid thing that you have to do today that you would spend $5 to have someone else do for you. And I don't really know if their errands cost $5, but what they said is like for a half-hour dog walk, it would be like $20. So I mean, to have someone drive to your house and then spend a half an hour with your dog, and then bring the dog back and then drive away, $20, okay, that's like Uber for errands. So think of your $5 thing that you would want someone to do. And I'm going to tell those ladies to listen. I'm going to let them use this as like an R&D experiment, okay? Because it was such a great. I talked to my wife about it, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that would be great." Because there are some days I would just say, "Tell you what, I'll pay you $30. You come to my house and just watch my kids for the afternoon." I'm like, that's a cheap babysitter. I'm like, I don't think it works that way. But maybe we'll find out. All right, 402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Mary, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This? Mary?
Oh, there you are. I lost you there.
Oh, no, I'm here. So do you have a stupid little errand or thing you have to do today that you would rather not do?
I can't come up with anything, but then I'm single and don't have to deal with kids. So that's my excuse for not having one.
That's all right, Mary. But it sounds like you said you were having a problem with Secure Updater. How can I help you with that?
Yeah, okay. I brought my desktop in on May 14th and got it back on the 15th. And I go to use it, and Secure Updater is black, and it won't run. So I call in, and it turns out, and I didn't realize it did this, when I bought it from Secure Website. I didn't buy it through you guys.
Okay. Well,
so
the website is us,
there.
by the way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The website is us. We make Secure Updater. So if you buy it from the website, you're buying it from us.
Right. Well, I didn't, because your people can't help me because I didn't buy it from you. Okay. So okay. Well, she couldn't. The only thing she could tell me was to uninstall it and reinstall it, and now I can't get it reinstalled because it says there's a problem with Windows Installer. And I tried to open a ticket with Secure Updater, and I've gotten no response.
Oh boy!
So I've been sitting here for a couple of weeks without Secure Updater.
Well, that's an epic fail.
Yeah. Then my question is I'd really like to be able to have you guys support it. Is there some way I could switch over to so you guys can help me support it?
Yeah, you're here in Omaha, right, or Lincoln?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come on, this is stupid. There were some situations where, for example, ARN. When we took over ARN was a computer repair shop in Omaha that was failing, and we took it over, and we tried to kind of make it a Schrock outlet, kind of, and it didn't work out. So we shut it down. But basically, they had Secure Updater subscribers that were ARN customers, and then those were rolled into Schrock. So there was a period of time where we were like, were you one of ours or were you one of ARN's? There was like some confusion there, but they're all together now. So somebody's working from some outdated information. So here's the thing. Number one, if it's a problem with Secure Updater's installer, we will help you over the Schrock desk. Call in for support. The guys will remote into the computer and get it installed at no cost for you. We offer free support for Secure Updater. Number one. Number two, if there's a problem with the Windows installation service on your computer, that means you can't install anything. And if that's going on, that's a problem with the computer that would need to be fixed before you can install Secure Updater.
Okay.
So it's not a problem with the Secure Updater installer, but that would have led to the original problem because what does Secure Updater do is it installs updates.
Yeah.
And so if the updates can't install, you would have a big problem. So even if Secure Updater was working, it wouldn't install anything.
But it was working up till I took it in for maintenance, which is very odd.
When did you and you had it in for maintenance? How long ago?
May 14th. I got it back to 15th.
Oh well, biscuits. Then life is easy peasy. You've got a 30-day work warranty on that. Anytime you bring a computer into us, you have a 30-day warranty on all the work that we do. So, and can we prove there? Can you prove that it was the maintenance checkup that did it? We're not. That's not split hairs. You were in for a maintenance check. You came in to have maintenance done, and no matter how we slice it, it stopped working after you took it home. It looks bad, and unless it's obvious, like you came in for a maintenance checkup, and then you took the computer home, and then like 2 weeks later the hard drive died. Well, maintenance doesn't mean it's going to last forever. It just means we're checking everything. Well, that could happen, but something like this. Give us a call in the service center. Now, we are staffed a little bit thin today because we weren't expecting a whole lot of business today, but judging from the phones, we may be getting punched in the face. I don't know. So if you call in and the guys can't do it immediately today, we'll get you in and get you a Schrock test to get that taken care of. And if we can't fix it over the Schrock test, we may have you bring the computer in so we can look at it and get that installation service fixed for you.
Okay, great.
We'll get you all taken care of.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary. All right,
Yeah.
402-558-1110, 800-543-1110. Keith says he'll put flowers on a grave for $5. Well, this isn't like you do the errands and get the money, Keith. I mean, this is like you would pay somebody. So what you're saying is there's somebody that you're going to put flowers on their grave, and you would rather just pay $5 and have someone else do it. I don't know what to think of that, Keith. All right, next up, Mark. Mark, how can I help you on Compute This?
Well, as simple, hopefully. On my laptop, every once in a while, my cursor will just stop. I can't, I bang on the little things and nothing happens on the touchpad, and then all of a sudden it'll come back on. But it's intermittent. So,
Well, maybe it's because you're banging on it.
well, no, that's after. That's after.
No, okay. So basically, what's going on is you have a laptop, the touchpad's working, and then then the cursor just stops on the screen. And if you slide your finger on the touchpad, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Okay. So basically, most computer repair stuff is a process of elimination. So the first thing that I would do is let's get a USB mouse and hook up the mouse, and let's see if the mouse has the same freezing behavior. Because if it's a software problem within Windows, as far as like, or even a hardware problem in the computer, what I'm trying to figure out is do you have a bad touchpad?
Right.
So let's eliminate that first. Once we know that the touchpad, if it does the same thing with an external mouse, I know the hardware is okay. Now we're dealing with a software problem. So that could be resources, not enough memory, things like that, too many things running in the background. But then we would see the same hesitation with keyboard strokes. Like if you ever typed and then all of a sudden it's like it stops, but you keep typing. And then if you stop typing and look at the screen, all of a sudden it's like, like the ghost piano player at Von Maur.
Right.
It just starts playing all by itself, It's everything you typed comes up. Is it doing that too?
Very infrequently.
Okay. So it could be a resource problem. It could just be that the computer gets really busy doing something and it doesn't have the time to process your mouse movements. But you'll see that with a regular mouse too then. With a wired mouse.
Okay.
So let's give that a shot first, because if that's the case, if it's bad hardware, we can certainly usually replace the palm rest or even sometimes just the touchpad component, get that fixed up for you, and it's no big deal. Because we do hardware repair. At Schrock Innovations, I'm supposed to talk more about what we do, because as we push the show into more markets, I can't assume that everybody just knows that. So at Schrock Innovations, we fix computers, because the name Schrock Innovations really says we fix computers. That's why now we call it the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, which still doesn't say we fix computers, but we fix computers. So if it is bad hardware, like a bad touchpad, we can replace that for you pretty easily. But yeah, try the mouse first, see if that does it. If that doesn't do it, the other thing you can do is on your computer, if you hit Control-Alt-Delete, you can open up the Performance tab and take a look at what your memory is doing and what your processor and disk are doing. If any of those are pegged out at 100% for extended periods of time, 3, 4, 5 seconds at a time, it's okay if they spike to 100 and then come down again. But if they stay pegged out, that's an indication. If it's disk, you might want to look. You probably have a 5,400 RPM hard drive. You might want to invest in maybe going to a solid state. If it's memory, we need to add a little bit of memory. And if it's processor, unfortunately, the only thing you can do to ease that load is you can add more memory, which does take the load off the processor, switching tasks, which will help a little bit. But running fewer things at once, going through that startup tab on the same screen there, and unchecking anything that you can. One quick hint is if you have Secure Updater, you don't need the Adobe Updater, the Google Updater, the this updater, the that updater. You can uncheck all of those. All right. Okay. Thank you for the call, Mark. I appreciate it. We got you in the drawing as well for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Really quick, let's get Jim. Jim, how can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi there. I have a question. So I have an employee that's going to be doing a training session for other employees on site, and I'm trying to get an application to be able to record that training session. They're going to be going over different applications.
Okay.
And they're going to have the steps to run different reports.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see. We have a program I used for that. Screencast-O-Matic. That's a fun name. Screencast-O-Matic. You can use the free one. It says Screen-O-Matic on the bottom. In the background. If it's for internal use, you won't care about that. You can just use the free one, or it's like $10 a license, and you can buy it. And you can split screen it with a webcam. It's really cool.
And you said Screencast-O-Matic.
Yep, Screencast-O-Matic.
Okay, very good.
All right, thanks for the call, Jeff. All right, Gary, stay on the line. I'll get to your call here off the air. Ron, congratulations. You're the winner of the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. And Kathy will send you your enormously outdated paper certificate that looks like it's been photocopied 5,000 times because, where did those go? Well, let's make a photocopy of one and, reproductive degeneration, they call it. It happens to people, too. But Kathy will get that out to you on Tuesday because we're closed on Monday. So if you want to come in, today's the day to do it. We're open from noon to 5. Stick around on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations for the After Schrock Show coming up here next. And we will not be on the Morning Blend tomorrow. You can still watch, but we won't be there. So we'll see you all again next week for another exciting and live edition of Compute This.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110, KFAB, Omaha.
Trying to time it. All right, can we drop the in-house a little bit? Let's see what we got here. All right, so this is the time if you want to on Facebook. You can post a quick question up there, and I'm watching in real time. I don't have to try to listen and do all the radio stuff at the same time as well. So let's see, Keith. Keith will be at Graceland Park Cemetery. Yesterday, someone sent flowers with $5 to place. I spend 2 minutes walking to the grave and place flowers in the vase. Easiest $5 I've ever made. Well, I think that's the concept behind this lady's business plan, is that if you take all the stupid errands that people don't want to do in a day and you get employees to do those errands, then, well, you're going to make money. And people get their errands done. Everybody's a winner. What's the failure? Pete asks, what is the failure rate of power supplies you mentioned while talking about British Airways? All right. It's a weird question because there are many, many different kinds of power supplies. So for example, when we build modular computers, we use 80 plus rated power supplies minimum. If the silver, platinum, gold power supplies are the same price, we'll use those instead. But we always use 80 plus. Now, the difference is we could get a power supply for half the price that's not 80 plus rated. And what the 80 means is it's 80% efficient. It's not wasting any energy. The platinum one, for example, is like 95% efficient, but you usually pay like a triple price premium to get platinum. And gold and silver are various degrees all the way up from 80. But 80 plus means this thing is approved, it's been tested, it's been certified as 80 plus. Therefore, you can be assured that it's going to be an efficient power supply that's going to put out good wattage to your computer. When you get, I won't name specific brands, but when you get some box store computers, you're getting power supplies that are not 80 plus rated. They're much cheaper. We're talking like you can get these online as a consumer for like $14 a power supply. Whereas the 80 plus, the good power supplies, we charge $150 for them. That's all we use in our repair jobs too, because the thing is, when you buy one of the cheaper power supplies, sometimes they're not even UL rated. Sometimes they're only CE rated. It gets them, you get them exported basically. So it's a real bad news scenario. You can have pops and fires and surges, and you can tell by the gauge of the cables when you pick it up. You feel it. It just feels cheap. You don't want to use a power supply like that in your computer. So if you have one of those that came with your box store computer, it's designed to last no longer than 2 years. The other thing is power supplies, no matter how efficient they are, wear down over time. So as you use it, the wattage it puts out goes down on a curve, a predictable curve. So when we put a power supply in a computer, the smallest power supplies that we buy are 500 watt power supplies. Your average desktop computer needs like 200 watts of power to run. But why do we put a 500 in? It costs like $3 more. But the nice thing is then, as it wears down, it's got to lose half of its power generating capability before you start to notice any problems on your computer. So to answer the question, how long will it last? It can last 2 years, or it could last 10 years. It just depends on the quality of the power supply that you put in. It's one of the reasons why the holiday special desktops last as long as they do, is when we pick the parts for those, we're really putting in high grade parts in those computers, so you don't have to fix them. But if you do, you're really glad you have the warranty. I guess that's one thing too. I should have mentioned this on the air and I didn't get to it, but Schrock Innovations extended warranties. I'm noticing like basically people are buying the warranties when they get the computer, and then if they don't use them, they're taking the refund, because we refund the warranty back to you if you don't use it, but they're not flipping it back into a warranty again, which is fine. It's a Schrock gift card that we refund back, and we don't mind either way. It's not a big deal. It's your choice, your preference. But it blows my mind that you're willing to buy a warranty on a computer that's brand new, But then once the computer is 2 years old, you don't want a warranty anymore, even though you could have it for free, because you just flip your warranty over because you didn't use it. And you keep flipping it until you need it. I had a customer this last week in the service center end up with a $500 repair bill because they just didn't renew their warranty. And they wanted to try to go back after the fact and renew the warranty, and we can't do that. But we can add the warranty back again afterwards. So they use their gift card toward the repair, and then they bought another extended warranty. So if you have a modular computer, a laptop or a desktop that was purchased from Schrock Innovations, you can add an extended warranty to that computer at any time you want to, as long as we know the computer is working good. Usually after like a maintenance checkup or something, we'll ask you, do you want to put an extended warranty on this because your warranty expired? I would strongly encourage you to do that, because you get your money back if you don't use the warranty, and if you do use it, it almost always exceeds the cost of repair, because of the quality of components that we use. We can use the cheap parts, but the cheap parts can cause all kinds of other problems, and we don't like that. So we use good quality parts, but they cost a little bit more. Get the warranty so that we can put the good parts in and you don't have to pay for it. Okay, soapbox down. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? Great to have someone just stop by my house and let the cats out while I'm at work. Yeah, I mean, Brian, that's absolutely right. I mean, these ladies have a really, really good idea, and you can just see that they're excited about it. And that's one of the things I love about doing Schrock Interactive, is you get to hear all these different business ideas and these people finding opportunities even in this environment. And there's opportunities everywhere. You just have to open your eyes and see them. And one of the things that we've started, we haven't talked about it on the radio yet. We're going to wait till we have the new Schrock Interactive website launched before we do this. But we are the only website design house in Omaha that offers an in-house payment plan for your website. We stretch it out over a 3-year period. There's no interest or anything. It's just you pay for it over 3 years while you host the website. So instead of spending, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, which is really all it should cost to get a website put together, even a fancy one anymore, on your website up front, you can make that in payments, spread that out over 3 years, and use that cash flow to build your business or to invest in search engine optimization or online marketing or Google ads or whatever that are going to actually drive business back in your door. So it's a really business-focused way of building websites, as opposed to most website houses. They take the money and they're like, thank you. Now, if you need anything else, give us a call, but please otherwise don't call us. Unless you have money to give us, don't call. Whereas with this method, this is us being invested in your business, so that it's almost like not a partner, because that's kind of creepy. We don't want a piece of your business, but we're invested in it, in that we want to see it succeed, so you remain a client. And this is one way for us to do that. So if you know somebody who needs a website, this time of year is very slow for Schrock Interactive. Most businesses, they around the holiday season, they get really excited about things. So right around the September, October region, we get really busy, and then we're busy all the way through. And then in January, February, as other businesses respond to what their competitors did over the holiday season by updating their websites, we get busy. And then this time of year, in the middle of the summer, everything kind of just trails off. So it's a great opportunity to get in and get a website done in like 4 to 8 weeks. We can get them done pretty quick. All right, let's see. Any other questions you guys want to post to Facebook? There is like a 10-second time delay here. So as I ask for questions, I'm going to wait about 10 seconds and fill with meaningless language like this, just to make sure that there's something streaming over the stream as I talk and wait for questions. So it's been about 10 seconds now. And I'm not seeing any questions yet, so we'll give it a couple more seconds here. But the service centers are all open today from noon until 5. For those of you who are into cryptocurrency, I mentioned in brief passing a mining rig. No, we're not drilling holes in the earth. We're mining the cryptocurrency Ether, which is kind of funny. It's like, it's in the air. Basically what it is a computer that solves a bunch of problems. So I was building out of wood, which... I'll build your computer all day long. I will build you a wicked box. I'll route the cables. It'll look beautiful. You do not want me building things out of wood. No, this is passable enough that I would use it. Barely. Because I was just building out of scrap lumber, because that's the thing about mining. You want to put as little money into it as possible, because every dollar you spend, your return on investment, it takes so long to get it back. So, I had some scrap lumber in the service center, and so what? It was all particle board. And yeah, I needed to cut it into 1-inch strips to build like a frame. You ever tried to drill 1-inch strips of particle board together? I even drilled pilot holes. I didn't even try to cheat, just throw the screw through it. I was even drilling pilot holes with the right size drill bit and everything, like super good woodworking tools. I should have glued it and then dried it and maybe like slathered it in more glue after it split apart to glue the particles back together. I don't know. It's holding up for now, so we'll see how it goes. All right, missed your response if surge protectors are still on sale. Myrna, the surge protectors are no longer on special. In fact, we're back ordered on them now. We sold all of them we had plus a bunch more. We have another shipment coming in this week here. With the holiday being a shipping holiday, I don't know if they're going to actually make it in on Tuesday. It might be toward the end of the week, or it might even be the following week, just because it takes 5 days for those to get here because they're very heavy, so we ship them by ground. So Myrna will be getting those in sometime here in the near future. Stephanie asks, Thor, is the surge protector sale still on? Omaha was out of them Friday. No, the surge protector sale ended about a week ago. So it was on sale for about a week. They were on the website there, but they are no longer on sale any longer. One of the things is that the next sale that we're going to be doing, I'm debating this, and I'd love to have your input on this. It's frustrating because Secure Updater is an excellent product that keeps people safe, and we don't charge a lot for it in the grand scheme. It's like $2 a month is what we charge for it. It's pretty reasonable. Endpoint is the best antivirus software you can buy. Getting into it is a little pricey at $160, but that's because we manage your computer, and then the renewals are $60, which is actually cheaper than renewing your regular computer. So every year we usually put both of them on sale at some point during the year, and it's kind of funny because we say, like, Secure Updater is half off, and then everybody who has Secure Updater calls in to the service centers to renew their Secure Updater at the sale price. Secure Updater costs $50 the first year, $25 each additional year. So if we put Secure Updater on sale for half off, that means it's $25. So if you call in to renew it at the sale price, it's the same price you would pay if you just renewed your software. So it's kind of, we kind of snicker about that, but people do it anyway. And Endpoint, we usually put Endpoint on sale as well at a discounted price. I'm trying to decide if I should do them as separate sales. Is it too much to lump them together and make it one like security sale? Because I'm worried that people who have one, maybe they have Endpoint but not Secure Updater, or they have Secure Updater but not Endpoint, will think they have to buy both. So I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. Should I split it up into two sales, or should I just do one? I don't know. So we'll figure that one out. Loanne, I like to watch the show on Facebook on my computer, but it won't, so I have to watch on my phone. Was wondering why that happens. Well, Loanne, I think you have a modular computer, so I can't tell you your computer's a piece of garbage. No, honestly, I don't know why it's not playing on the computer. It could be that there's a dependency missing, something like a flash player or something like that. Next time you have your computer in for a preventative maintenance check, because I know you bring yours in, Loanne, for your checkups every 6 months, just like your teeth. Ding. But bring them in and mention that when you drop it off, and then we'll see if we can't pop a Facebook Live video and play any video on there. The other thing is, after the Facebook video is done being live, it's available on Facebook after the fact. Check and see if those videos are playing after the fact. Can you play the video when it's not live, or just is it not working when it's live? So things like that. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I got nothing else. So happy Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. Lots of guys are going to be barbecuing. There's going to be a lot of beer flowing around, stuff like that. Be careful not to drive. Drinking and driving is no good. Let's see. Mary says, do Endpoint. I need to renew my Norton in June, and I'll be updating to Endpoint. Oh, okay. I see, Mary. Okay. So the question, Mary, is should I do Endpoint and Secure Updater at the same time, or should I split them up? I don't know. What should I do? Anyway. All right. So the popular vote here has been we should put Endpoint on sale next month. That's the popular vote of 1. Gloria asks, will you be putting your external hard drives on sale? That's an interesting product. Or an interesting idea. It's an interesting product for sure. That's an interesting idea because we've never put those on sale before. The modular storage devices. And we have a ton of them too. I mean, we have a lot of them. We had to order 500 of them to have them made. So we have a lot of modular storage devices. That's an interesting idea, Gloria. I'm going to have to look into that. Maybe that would be a good Facebook flash sale, I think. We'll look into that one. All right, so heads up. What we're going to do next week is we're going to be putting Endpoint on sale during the radio show. We're going to put it on sale. Usually we drop it from $160 down to $99. So it's $60 off, which is a huge, huge price advantage. We'll also do that on the website. We will do that through a coupon code because you can buy Endpoint on the website at SchrockInnovations.com and install it yourself if you want to. So we'll do that with a coupon code that will give you the $60 off. So be watching for that next week. You heard about it here first, though, guys. All right. No more questions right now, I guess. So we're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to get home to the fam, and you guys have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.